Hey, listen to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and MP. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey.
It is Elimination Chamber Toronto this weekend, so obviously we're going to take a look at the matches that are announced as of time of record and run down, see what we think's going to happen, and do a bit of a weird one. We're going to talk about a segment because it's got quite a bit of knock-on effects, but let's start with the unsanctioned match. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens had been going at it for a while. WWE can't sanction it. They're just going to be that brutal.
The perpetual, everlasting feud that will outlast even John Cena versus Randy Orton. Um, with the occasional sprinkling of them being a team. Um, do you say this is just going to be one of those? It's going to be a fight. It's so much of a fight that I'm not even sure it's going to have a conclusion.
Yeah,
Um,
I can definitely see that. I think with it being an unsanctioned match, there's obviously a lot they can do, and yeah, I don't. It doesn't feel like it's. You can't say first clash, but the first clash of this chunk of their feud isn't gonna end in the ring. It feels like.
Yeah, this feels like it's just a kicking off of like the multi-man tag match that we've been expecting involving Kevin Owens and the other truth tellers that are hated. It feels like this is just like the first step towards that. I could see Sammy losing to Kevin. Uh, in fact, I think if there isn't a outcome in this match, it is more likely Kevin Owens wins. But I think if that could also be something that's beneficial for Sammy, because it might make Sammy realize that eventually he needs to get a killer's edge. He needs to maybe not be so happy-go-lucky all the time.
Yeah, if the end game is some sort of multi-man helped Roman versus the people who hate Roman group type match, then yeah, Kevin Owens kind of has to win to launch that. I think if Sami Zayn on the face side wins this, I don't know, the story doesn't make a whole lot more sense, but if Kevin can get a little bit of momentum behind him, he can use that as a launching pad with a couple of the guys who might lose out in the Elimination Chamber match to form up and go against who they want to go against.
Yeah. Uh, there's a lot of questions that are like this mania is a lot more confusing than we're used to.
Hmm.
Uh, we're used to saying, all right, this is plan A, this is plan B, this is what we're going to see, but we have really no idea until the chamber matches are done exactly what we're going to see at WrestleMania. And we may not even be sure of that even after the chamber matches.
Yeah, I was going to say, depending who walks out of those chambers, the winner, there's still a whole lot of chess pieces floating around, right? Um, And so, yeah, it's going to be an insane road to WrestleMania. But we talked about the men's chamber. Let's just go to that one. Winner faces the undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41. It is John Cena versus CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre versus Logan Paul versus Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins.
All right. I'm immediately striking out CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins. Immediately. Because those three are destined to duel forever and will cost each other the match in the end. There is no way any one of those three is winning this match. So that leaves Cena, Priest, Paul. And as much as I'd like to see the absolute meltdown and the devastation that a Logan Paul win and main event at WrestleMania would bring, I don't see it happening yet. Give us about a year or two, maybe then we'll see him main event at WrestleMania. Much to the annoyance of pretty much everybody.
Yeah, I'll just sit silent on the episode for 30 minutes. It'll be okay.
um, so that now leaves it to Cena Priest. I I think it's going to be Cena. I think Cena wins this match. And I think they just introduced a major wrinkle in the story that could affect like his last year here with
Yeah,
the whole the final boss.
I'm with you around the winner of the match. I think for me, there are a few candidates. Yeah, Paul, Priest, Rollins, and McIntyre are not them. It really does leave Cena and Punk, and Punk does appear to have himself, beef with everyone. He's got beef with Paul. He's got beef with McIntyre. He's got beef with Rollins. I don't know what his feelings towards Damian Priest are, but everybody else kind of hates him in that match.
And he's got a beef with Roman Reigns too.
That's true. Still unsolved. What is it? Favor from Paul Heyman as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it is designed for Cena to win. If they do go a surprise win, then it will be Damian Priest. I just don't think that's as interesting or entertaining possible match as Cena versus Cody, with the looming threat of a potential corporate champion coming out of that match. Because everybody has been expecting Cody to turn. Cody to turn. Cody to turn. What if during his last year, we finally get that heel Cena for a few months as champion?
Yeah, I think there's a few routes that they can go. Obviously, this week on SmackDown, The Rock showed up in his kind of final boss persona. He's trying to weave his way in and manipulate Cody Rhodes and convince him that what's best for both of them is for Cody Rhodes to become his champion and to quote unquote sell his soul to The Rock. Which, as you say, is a bit of a wrinkle. Wasn't entirely sure what to think of it while watching the segment. We'll see on Elimination Chamber whether Cody Rhodes does end up taking that offer or not, but when you do look at the potential of a Cody Rhodes-John Cena WrestleMania match, I know you've probably got enough there to still have a great match between the two, but just that little bit extra of spice or a little bit extra salt on the top of will Cody Rhodes accept the deal, sell his soul to The Rock, become a corporate champion? Is John Cena so desperate to get his 17th that he'll sell his soul? Will we see almost a rehashing of John Cena versus the John Cena versus The Rock via Cody Rhodes? There's a lot of little different pieces that can go on the top rather than just the old babyface versus the new babyface.
I was thinking more of the actual match between him, Cena, and CM Punk. The infamous one at Money in the Bank, in which he did not sell his soul to the screwjob attempt, and he lost the match to CM Punk, who then promptly left the company with the title. What if he does this time?
Yeah. I think, as you said, there's so many different routes and so many different pieces that I can't sit here and definitively say this is the one that's going to happen, and that's awesome, that's cool. I think that no matter how they decide to go with it, it should be all right. I wouldn't be disappointed if Cody does either accept the offer at WrestleMania or at Chamber. I wouldn't be disappointed if John Cena sells his soul. The only one I'd probably be disappointed to is if it goes absolutely nowhere. Nobody sells their soul, and we just end up with a match between the two and it doesn't pay off at all. All I ask is for a payoff. I don't care what the payoff is, just a payoff.
Yeah, I agree. I think that now that they've introduced this, they have to pay it off in some way. Even if it's just the Austin McMahon stuff from WrestleMania 17, where it's up until that point, he's against The Rock helping him, but he accepts it during the match and becomes the corporate champion. So that's a potential option too. It's just gonna be fun to watch it play out, but there is a 5% chance that they may just piss us all off, and Logan Paul wins the match, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, let's not talk about that 5% chance. But let's
at least I didn't give it a Dolph Ziggler's chance. That would have guaranteed it.
Let's transition from a match with all the stakes and all of the WrestleMania outcome and move on over to a match that doesn't seem to have a whole lot right now. Trish Stratus teaming up with Tiffany Stratton for the hometown pop, going against Nia Jax and Candice LeRae in a tag team match.
Uh, they are really trying to get Tiffy over as a face, and I don't think it's working. Um, because honestly, I don't think Tiffy's character really works as a face. Um, I don't know, maybe they'll prove me wrong, because I didn't think Bayley would work as a heel, and then Bayley became one of the best heels in the last 10 years. So it's possible. Uh, Obviously, we've got Trish for the legendary like face pop in the hometown thing versus a Nia Jax that could probably kill her if she really wanted to, and Candice LeRae who's kind of crazy. Um,
Pretty apt description of the match.
yeah. I think this is going to be one of those feel good moments for the faces. They win the match, and then I think Tiffy gets taken out by Charlotte. The reminder, hey, I get to face you for your championship in 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's kind of the threat that's looming over this whole match, right? I think Tiffany and Trish have an easy win unless there is Charlotte shenanigans. I don't see Jackson LeRae coming out clean with a win on that one. I could be wrong, but it's a little bit of a filler tag match, as you say. Pop for the legend. Tiffany has her champion or her challenger already for WrestleMania. Um, Jackson LeRae floating right now, not entirely locked in, and so
Yeah.
throw the match together and have another match on the card, I guess.
Yeah, a major problem with this match is if the heels win, that gives them an argument, especially Nia, of inserting themselves into that match at WrestleMania, which is why they cannot win this match.
Heard it here
So
first.
yeah, because it's gotta be a clean 1, 2, 3, one way or the other between Tiffy and Charlotte. Somebody's got to win, and it's got to be a one-on-one match. It cannot be a multi-person match.
That is fair enough. Well, it is about halfway through the show, so we're going to go into our theme of the week. When we come back, we still have the women's Elimination Chamber match. We still have some results from Raw and SmackDown, including a title change. There's heaps to talk about, but for now, let's play that song. It is for the Elimination Chamber theme itself. It is New Way Out by Poppy. And you're back at Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and MP. I'm Grady, he's Josh. Just before we jump into the Women's Elimination Chamber match, let's talk about the main event of Raw. It was Women's Tag Team Championship action. Naomi, Bianca Belair had the titles on the line. They were going up against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, and we got a couple of new champions.
Yeah, kind of wasn't expecting the titles to change hands there. But I'm not complaining, especially if it brings us closer to our eventual who did it reveal. But also a major problem with this storyline that I think I noticed is what is something that should not happen for Judgment Day and a Dominic Mysterio run-in? Getting cheered. That shows you just how much I think people want to change from Bianca. I really think they need to pull the trigger and it be revealed that it was Bianca all along. That Bianca was the attacker. And we get a darker, grittier, more selfish, self-centered Bianca.
Yeah, I think it's got to be someone, right? It's not going to be a Liv Morgan. It's not going to be a Raquel Rodriguez. They've made it pretty clear that they didn't do the attack. They don't care that they're being, fingered as the ones who did the attack, but they didn't do it. And as Naomi said herself, everybody thinks it's her. Bianca Belair makes a whole lot more sense, and it does get us that Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair match that, we saw on the horizon since Jade's debut. Time to do it now. One of them's got to go face, one of them's got to go heel, and yeah, if you're listening to the receptions of Bianca Belair, I think it should be pretty clear which way that's going to flip.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say these ladies knocked it out of the park, by the way.
Banger match.
Yeah, absolutely a crazy match. So yeah, I'm fine with it. It gives us a different wrinkle with the tag team division, giving us Morgan and Rodriguez as the team to chase now, which gives more options for the ladies to form tag teams to go chase after them. So yeah, I'll find it for it. It was time to start pulling some triggers with this anyway. So it either needed to be now or next week or two. So
yeah, and I think with
pull
eyes
now.
up looking at WrestleMania, right, it it sort of locks Liv away from this next match we're going to talk about. Sort of puts her as the women's tag champ. She's got something else to do, and then frees up Bianca Belair and Naomi if Jade is going to come back, and we're going to do some sort of clash between those three. And it sort of, just lets the pieces fly where the pieces are going to fly. But let's jump officially into it. Elimination Chamber match. The winner faces Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania 41, or Io Sky, if she can win on Raw. But the match is Liv Morgan versus Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss versus Bayley versus Naomi versus Roxanne Perez.
This is matches like there's so many intertwining storylines here that it's hard to figure exactly who I would want to win. I think mostly because of the tag team title, it kind of, as you said, it kind of eliminates Liv and Roxanne, which is kind of sad because I really want to see Roxanne Perez versus Rhea Ripley in a straight up one-on-one match. So the chances of that are very small now. They could still do it. They've kept the tag titles wrapped up with the main titles for a lot longer than they should have in their existence. So it's not outside the realm of possibility. Bianca and Naomi are immediately X'd out, much in the same way as I said CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins were, because they have something that's going on in the background that's going to be a part of their WrestleMania story. So that leaves Alexa Bliss and Bayley. And as much as I love Bayley, I love Bayley.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I've sort of... Yeah, I narrowed it down very similarly, right? I think Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley is played out. So I'm going to take that chess piece off the board. I'm looking at Bayley, her storyline recently, and who she's been involved with. It's been pretty heavily involved with Roxanne Perez, whether that be on NXT, whether that be on Raw. It does feel like a one-on-one clash between those two could be on the horizon. Whether that's at WrestleMania, whether that's at Stand and Deliver, don't know where it's going to fall, but it feels like that's those two's story going forward, which leaves Bliss, Belair, and Naomi. As you said, Naomi and Belair do have their Jade, their tag team. So the logical choice here is to go with an Alexa Bliss win, and you have Bliss versus Rhea. I don't know what wrinkle to that the match with Sky on Raw will have. But if I was shooting another shot just so that, we're not going down the same route, I could say maybe a Bianca Belair win here, and then if it is
I'll
Belair Ripley,
I'll throw something out as a
sure.
Naomi.
Okay.
You could have her win the match, and that splits her away from Bianca, and it's Bianca then revealed as the attacker, and that allows Bianca versus Jade to happen. Naomi is split away from their story and has a match with Rhea.
Yeah. I think, Belair, Naomi, Bliss are the three for me here. I can also see another one if they are not ready to pull the Jade trigger, then you could just have a slightly more heel leaning Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Maybe Jade gets involved in there, or whether that's in the feud or in the match. There's some cards you can play there, but the big wild card is just this question mark sitting above Alexa Bliss's head as to, are we doing anything with the Wyatt Six? Are we just strapping her up and ready to go? What's gonna happen? You know, we do have Rhea Ripley on Raw. The Wyatt Six recently moved to SmackDown. They could shuffle things about. I just don't know what Alexa Bliss's future holds. You know, we can sit here and we can say Liv's gonna go do this with the titles, Bayley Roxanne maybe, Belair, Cargill, Naomi. I got nothing for Alexa Bliss. I don't have any sort of WrestleMania plans for her except potentially winning this match and going on to face Rhea.
Yeah, because technically Alexa Bliss is not assigned to any brand, so she could still do this, win the match, face her, lose, and then go off to SmackDown and be part of the Wyatt Six if they want to do that. There's nothing outside of the realm of that because she's technically not assigned to a brand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely an opportunity. I don't know. This match to me is a little bit more up in the air compared to the men's. I think the men's has a really strong, obvious winner with maybe a couple of floaters around the outside. And this one I'm sort of split a little bit more. Maybe like 60-20-20 kind of across three people. But we'll have to see what happens this weekend. And as you say, that those plans for WrestleMania start to unfold. You start to figure out, you know, if so and so wins this match, then this feud over here is going to go this way, and then this is going to go this way. And we start seeing the pieces falling where the pieces fall.
Also, can I say I'm so glad that Jey Uso won the Rumble, so that I wouldn't be forced to declare him to win the men's chamber match, and be ultimately disappointed.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, he got the. I don't know. Is it an easier? I don't know. He won the first opportunity, so he didn't have to go into the chamber for the second opportunity. Which makes it a little bit easier for him, makes that build with Gunther a little bit longer as well. We saw Gunther just destroying Akira Tozawa this week on Raw. It seems like a pretty classic build between those two towards WrestleMania 41. I have no worries about them stretching it out. I think they've got this easily. Gunther's just gonna beat up on people, and Jey Uso's gonna be the face that's cheered against him. You know, tale as old as time here. Jey Uso's failed so many times against Gunther. This will be the one. Surely. Fingers crossed.
Alright. Yeah, let's finish this pay-per-view, because there is something I want to talk about from SmackDown.
Alright, just talk about SmackDown then. We got a couple more minutes. Go for it.
Yeah. How about one of the biggest shocks we've seen in years? With Jimmy
you want to talk
Uso
about the other Uso?
beating Drew McIntyre. How about that?
Yeah, I think
Was that on your bingo card for the 2025?
Definitely not, right? Like, Jimmy Uso's star at the moment is not burning as bright as his brothers. I think that's very clear to see. One of them's won the Royal Rumble heading into a big WrestleMania main event, but Jimmy isn't any slouch, and I think it's cool to have some crazy wins, so we don't just look at the weekly show and figure out how everything's going to go. But this is also a great seed if we are heading into that multi-man Roman's helpers kind of match, where I guess Jimmy Uso and Drew McIntyre got beef now, and you can throw them in alongside Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. You can throw them in alongside Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, with CM Punk as well floating around. There's a lot of different pieces to that storyline, and as you say, Jimmy beating Drew wasn't what I was expecting was going to be the next piece we got.
Yeah. I could see it being a triple threat between Roman, Seth, and CM Punk. And then you have Damian Priest and Jimmy Uso versus and then Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, and then insert person here to make it an even team.
Yeah.
And I could see that being built easily. So there's a lot of stuff that they can still go through here, but it was just nice to see Jimmy get a bone for once.
Yeah. You love to see it. Well, that is all we have time for this week. It's been great talking to you.
Bye, B.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/wrestling R&D upper, our Twitter page, twitter.com/wrestling R&D upper, our YouTube page, youtube.com/wrestling RND up. And we will catch you next week with the results from Elimination Chamber.